In the beginning was the Logos, and the Logos was with God, and the Logos was God. And he was with God in the beginning, and through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has not been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness has not understood it. Then came a man who was sent from God. His name was John. And he came as a witness to testify concerning that light, so that through him all men might believe. He himself was not the light. He came only as a witness to that light. That true light that gives light to every man was coming to the world. And he was in the world. Though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. He came to that which was his own, but his own did not receive him. Yet to all who received him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become the children of God, children born not of material, natural descent, nor of human decision or husband's will, but born of God. And the Logos became flesh, and he made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only, who came to the Father, full of grace and truth. And he testifies concerning him. He cries out, saying, This was he whom I said, He who comes after me has surpasses me, because he was before me. From the fullness of his grace, we all have received a blessing after another. For the law was given through Moses, the grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God, but God the one and only, who is at the Father's side, has made him known. So if you don't know the history of the Christian church and the biblical origins, it's kind of confusing. But let's break down what is the word. It's the Logos, Greek word for the word is Logos. What I was reading was American version that says is the word, but to say the Logos is the original meaning. And that Logos word refers to the internal consistency of the message, as well as the messenger, the clarity of the claim, the logic of his reason, the effectiveness of the supporting evidence, how the audience is appealed, persuaded. The impact of the Logos on an audience is the argument's appeal. What is that argument? Is the word, the world, and the natural creation. Creator, creation, and there's only two. The creator and the creation, and the created. Yes, three things. It's always a triad of things. I like the Logos, and there's the ethos and the pathos. That ethos means Greek for character, and pathos is Greek for sufferings or experience. Now, the word ethos is the trustworthiness, the credibility of the speaker, the messenger, the writer, etc. And it is through the tone and style of the message, through the messenger, to the way he, she speaks, proclaim, etc., the viewpoints and the message. The person's reputation exists independently from the message, and yet the messengers, writers, speakers, whatever, experience in that field, mastery in that field, the record, integrity, etc., affects the message. The impact of the ethos, character, message is the appeal, the credibility. Now, the pathos is the emotional aspects of that, and that appeals to the audience, sympathy, imagination, experiential learning, understanding. And the audience is just not responding intellectually, but to emotionally. to able to identify with the messenger, the writer, speaker's point of view, and to feel that writer's what he or she feels. Same way an artist is trying to do the painting as well, in a different way. The emotional aspect appeal, and also the implicit meaning of suffering, of the pathos, the pain, imagination. It's part of the emotion, but it's more an abstractive, logical appeal, if that makes sense. And it goes with the values, beliefs, and understanding of the messenger, writer, artist, speaker, etc. that is implied in the message or the medium of communication. Okay, and it's meant to incite the audience to a certain decision, action, or experience, spiritual learning. In short, this the pathos is emotional appeal. Logos is the induction, deduction to support the claim of who the messenger stands as and is, the facts, the statistics to support that claim, argument, presumption of being. Ethos is just the source, speakers, authors, writers, messengers, credibility, ethics. Okay, so back to the logos. There you have a general understanding of what God is, and then the goddess is. No need to explain that. But the who and what or God, goddess is, that's different. Some culture worship mainly the female version of God, and then there's a male version of God in the Catholic Church, the Christian Church, and of course the Middle Eastern is the Middle Muslim. They worship Allah. It's a masculine aspect. I'm trying to find the correct words for explaining a very complex topic and yet very simple. So bear with me. Okay, you have creation, and you have the creator of that creation, and then the creator of that creation created creations that is like him herself, and that creation of him herself recreated him herself as the creation. So what does, okay, it's confused yet? Okay. It makes sense if you see how kids build sandcastle and then later destroy it, and next day they build another sandcastle and destroy it. Okay, that does make sense. Okay, it does. Well, they create and then destroy and then create again, but they know how to create it. They are the creator of the sandcastle. But in building the sandcastle, that created that boy or girl making that create sandcastle. How? It makes them a stronger being. The exercise, the mental, the energy goes into it, the experience of creating it, the time goes into it, etc. So it created that boy and girl. Now another example would be, well, let's move on. So God, the creator, God, the first source, prime creator, whatever name you call, has no gender, genderless, androgynous. And that being, presence, whatever, splits into two aspects. One is feminine and one masculine. The feminine is considered the womb, like the Okay, hole, black hole. If it makes sense. A black hole. See, the black hole is the source of the female power energy, the womb. Okay. Vagina. Okay, the black hole sucks everything inside to it, right? So vagina will suck the penis. Okay. And then of course what is the feminine then? The masculine would be the white hole. Well, the white hole projects everything out. So yes, a black hole sucks everything into it. Where does that go? Into another universe where in that universe it's a white hole. And that's a masculine person. So that masculine, like a penis projectile, shoots out the semen and out and create a new universe. Simple, right? Not really. Okay, yes. Well, because if you see the vagina, the penis goes into the vagina, shoots the sperm, hits the egg, creates a brand new, totally different being. Sometimes. Okay, sometimes the ladies not a lady or infertile. Yes, some guys do become girls. That's a different story. So the mother, the father, that's the original creature as two beings. In this, and then they exist in this this great this pool of darkness called the black hole, right? All dark matter, infinite, infinitesimal, expansive. And there's this person called, some people that I follow called infinite. Some other call it absolute, the first source, or prime creator. Let's just stick with one that I liked. The first source. The source. When I mention the source, it's the source of all things, the source of all evil, source of all good. Just the source. And first source is just to imply the first source. The second source is this. The first source is the male and female aspect, but they are one, and they are not one. Okay, how